Okay, we call this meeting the Fairfield County Board of Trustees to order. Order of business, pledge allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I don't know. It's pulled it up on purpose, but I don't know why you can't get to it.
I don't think I deleted it or anything. Okay. Minutes, before, oh, that is big, isn't it? For your approval, for your consideration and possible approval or set of minutes for November 6th, regular session. Look for a motion to approve.
I'll make that motion.
Second, vote.
Yes.
And a set of minutes for the special session that was held on November the 10th, 2023. Look for a motion to approve.
I'll make that motion.
Second, vote.
Yes.
Yes. Public comment period.
Brookside slate rides are on the 9th. You got that. Thank you for your support with the elementary school fun run.
Yep.
Appreciate that. And other than that, things have been relatively quiet.
Worthing Hills sleigh rides are the 16th. Got a new route that we encouraged, right?
Yeah, you're gonna stage at the school.
Yes.
And they're gonna do Candlewood to Beach Lake or Candlewood and just make a big loop.
Okay. I'm sure like everything else, it'll be sold out. So, I think that's it. Pipcon and Ravello, and there's something in the road report regarding them, but I think it's all quiet down there as I recall. So,
So yeah, just
Those are-
that's how, yeah,
I
that's
know,
what
it's
maybe
big.
came up.
Is that how yours came up too?
Yeah. Mine too.
You know what? You want to pause the meeting? I'll call Mary.
But if you could, you should be able to print it, you know, make it smaller.
I can't. I'll figure it out.
Zoning report. How's things going?
Zoning report, Oakborn, no changes there, which is a good thing, things are clean. I still wanted to take down a small tree, dead tree next to the driveway. Car got cleaned up, looks better, everything else
I
looks
got
good.
that.
So I'm waiting on that one. Riverside Drive, our guy has not paid the bill for the cleanup, despite many attempts, and I emailed him again today that I picked up a mattress off of the side of the road. It was on his property. It's been there for a couple of weeks, and disposed of that mattress for him and let him know that I did that and we need payment. And so we will ride that out and see how that works.
So did we pay the contract?
We did not pay the contract.
We haven't paid
So
anything.
what we came to was an agreement prior to
Yeah.
email agreement that
Okay.
Andrew would pay the contractor with the contractor's estimated amount. So we have an email agreement, not a contract, so we have an email agreement. So
How much does it cost?
3,445. So the contractor, for my limited opinion, has a right to file a mechanics lien on that property per his contract, and
Yeah.
that would be the way to pursue that, rather than us trying to pay the contractor and then seek reimbursement through the taxes. Ultimately, we still can, I believe. But the contractor
We
now
sought
has
out a contractor, right?
we sought out the contractor. I introduced them by email. I set out the terms by email. They both agreed by email that they would move forward with the contract at the agreed price. And now there is no payment. It probably happened, but it hasn't happened yet. But contractor hasn't Somewhat of a right to file a mechanic's lien for services rendered, does he not?
Absolutely.
So.
Our other option is what?
Our other option is to pay the contractor and
But-
then seek reimbursement through the taxes on the property.
It's a longer process.
It's a longer process.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it doesn't look good when we do the introduction and he doesn't get paid.
This is actually a
The contractor
first.
knew going in, the issues with the property. So
How about have you had a conversation with the contractor?
I've not,
We gotta have a conversation with the contractor and see what his wishes are.
Well, I'm sure his wishes are to get paid
Get paid
immediately.
right away.
I mean, how long has it been? Like from the
It's been
time that he
long.
would have been invoiced?
it's been,
Probably.
so he gave him 30 days, he gave him a 30-day past due notice last week. Well, the response was, Andrew emailed his wife for us and said, hey, we need to pay this. That was the
Andrew, the
response.
property owner, emailed his wife. "Hey, you need to pay it." See if the contractor can wait a couple more weeks. Okay.
I thought by me picking up the mattress and disposing of it, it was on his property. It's been there,
There,
maybe that would spur him.
Or
to do
something.
So, anyway. So last Wednesday night, we had public hearings for the two zoning. The addition of the solar language and the overhaul of the entire code. No public showed up. We had our meeting open for public hearing, closed it. Both amendments passed unanimously by roll call, so they will be before you guys at the next trustees meeting.
They don't require a second reading.
They do not.
Okay. So.
The Brookside cottages, we got they're ready to move forward again. We got an email with a final development plan subject to a lot split from property that the country club still owns. That parcel was part of the original overlay, but it was never deeded to the developer.
Correct.
And so that,
We knew that going in that had to be a lot split,
right,
but we know who their counsel is it Jack Reynolds?
it may be, yeah, it may be. Oh, I can find out about that.
If
But
we
they're
were,
ready to move
find out
forward.
where they are, if we can help, they kind of move the process along. Eventually, I think it's gonna end up at the planning commission. I'll have to excuse myself, but should get there pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll follow up with good developer and find out who they want.
Okay.
And then Henderson Development, there's a little bit of a setback. We got an email that the developer's waiting for the city of Columbus to sign the contract regarding sewer service with Franklin County. And City of Columbus realized, or after doing research, that they haven't done everything necessary to do that, so they have legislation they still have to pass before they can do that, and they are hopeful that they can get that legislation passed by the end of the year. Well, we're almost at the end of the year
Yeah.
when anything happens, but so Henderson Road is on hold.
So we're gonna give them till the end of the year, and then we're gonna call Ann Albrecht and regulate them.
And follow up.
Okay. Okay,
That's it.
we'll get there. Eventually. My department is not with us tonight, but just a couple things, down in Ravello. Savco is replacing some bad sections of the concrete base down there. The streets are scheduled to be paved next week. On the salt barn, company that came in, and did a presentation before us recently, have a scope of work completed before our next meeting on the 4th. Company representative indicated that he has all the information needed from his vendors to put an accurate number together for that meeting. So we'll have hopefully some details in a couple weeks. ITS started working on generator installation today. So I talked to Brian and he said it should be done fairly quickly.
Right.
on that, so.
I do know, just to add to that, Brian found out that our building is gonna be without power one day. So Luke and I will plan on just working from home.
Oh.
We're both set up to do that. I'm not sure why it's just our bill. I mean, the other buildings are gonna lose power, but for a much shorter period of
Who
time.
does it hook up with the generator?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh.
So we'll let y'all know when
Okay.
we'll be doing the work from home thing.
Feel like old times.
You work down at the police department. They got good candy there.
Yeah, they do. Mhm.
So,
Well, we got ours refreshed today.
Yeah, I brought that in. It's a leftover from Halloween.
leaf collection, they picked up 197 loads so far, and 8 rounds around the township. And let's see, rain's predicted for tomorrow, which is true. Gonna be working only in Brookside and South End, and then they'll be back to Worthington Hills after the Thanksgiving weekend. Next week, the road crew is gonna evaluate where we are. I think the leaves come down pretty quickly. But this is kind of that part of the season where we make some decisions, because it does take 2 days to get the boxes off, the truck's ready for the snow. So they're obviously looking at the radar and seeing what's gonna happen.
When was the leaf pickup supposed to end?
30th,
The 30th.
Guaranteed.
all leaves have to be done by the 30th. So.
So sad. Our last tree stopped everything that just like the night before. So I
Really?
don't know, maybe everybody's, I don't know. Have we checked on Andy's tree?
Well, that's, I was about ready to say, that's really the gauge is whether industry dropped the leaf, so. And before you, we have a consideration for, the mosquito. What's his name? That's good. We have the 20,
You made it?
I went from
I know.
this to that.
Sorry.
Wow. So, there's two. Is there 2 prices in this?
Well, the first one was what was paid in 2023, which was 6,557.88. The cost for 24 through 26 is 9,020.45.
So it's gone up.
It has gone up, but if I remember correctly, I said this is the first increase in so. You get it?
I mean, I
Yeah.
apparently have to actually size it for him here.
Nine-
There's a little.
So it's
box.
$9,020.45. That's what we're looking at.
We're talking about the disease and nuisance total, $9,00020.45.
You want to make that motion while you're talking about it?
Sure, I'll make the motion for, the 2024-2026 annual cost for the mosquito program at $9,020.45.
We round it up or should we?
No, that should be just
Just be
fine.
good, okay.
Yeah.
Second, vote,
Yes.
yes. Police department.
We went over the staffing study and the particular JTA last meeting, and I have looking forward to that.
Wow.
I just want to congratulate Sergeant Rashid again for completing the STEP program. We went to her graduation last week. I know it's yeah, so good for her.
Thank you, I forgot about that. Got another supervisor graduate staff.
Good. Things going well on our hunt for the backfilling,
Sorry,
backfilling of the position.
Yes.
Okay.
have a couple candidates going through back.
Madam Administrator.
Alrighty, under old business, I really don't have any updates right now. I did want to mention the TIF is coming up, so I've tried reaching out to Dublin City Schools.
Mhm.
That Rob McCarthy's trying to get that ball rolling. So I'm hoping to hear something back really, really soon. Let's see. So on my agenda is the 2024 health and prescription agreement in your packet. There's several options provided by Burnham and Flowers. As you know, we've been with MedMutual for a lot of years, but because of claims and so on and so forth, the estimated cost for this coming year has increased. That said, well, going back a little bit, the way it was explained to us is for every dollar in premium we've paid in, MedMutual has paid out $1.40. And of course, that all ebbs and flows depending on people's circumstances and that sort of thing. So Michelle did provide a quote for Aetna and Anthem. UHC, they always throw on there, but that's always extraordinarily costly. I've just been kind of talking to, I asked for feedback from staff, and we kind of went through this several years ago where we made a switch, and there's older we all get, there's more people on medicines, and the tendency is that when you make a switch to the new company, they make you go back to the very, very beginning. If you have acid reflux or anything, and you start with an over-the-counter, and then you progress all over again, which is problematic. We also have some folks that have upcoming surgeries, or they're in the process of dealing with some health issues. So what I would like for the board to consider is approving the MedMutual one more year and then reevaluate, see if our claims change. The bottom line is when we go to these other agencies or groups, they'll bring the cost down just to get you through the door. And then you're back into the same situation again. But I know.
That Anthem one looks pretty good, but.
Yeah. Well, one of the issues with the Anthem, and we ran into it the last time, was when people needed help or assistance, and I was one. I had a son doing two different things. They were not the slightest bit helpful trying to get, working through the system. There were several other people in the same boat. Michelle did say that, and Burnham and Flowers has the same issue when they're trying to assist their clients, because you call one number, you're thrown into a box, and you have to wait to get a response. Now, Aetna, that if you were going to look at a different program, that's the one that she said that she would recommend. That's something that she does have personally, and has had that for a few years. But again, whenever you switch to a different insurance agency, you're gonna run into
Just
different
as sideline
issues.
commentary, our company dropped Anthem. I hadn't used them, but our company dropped them because of the amount of feedback and
Right.
negativity.
And like I said, we had them
Aetna's
several
almost-
years
Yeah,
ago.
Aetna's almost the same, but it really,
Yeah, it's not that huge.
Have we ever had that though?
I'm sorry?
Have we ever had it? No.
No, we've been, for as long as I've been here, except for not even a full year, we've been with MedMutual. We was switched to Anthem, and the board took us back to MedMutual the following year.
There's sort of you get what you pay for with Anthem.
You do, well, you get what you pay for. And I mean, everybody had, whether it's taking your kid in for a cold or something major. It's, and I mean,
are we okay budget wise with just renewing with Medical Mutual?
yes.
Yeah, I think especially if we're increasing the contribution,
What do we have?
Well, the contribution per the FOP contract is 15% of the premium, and that will stay for one more year,
That's right. Okay.
right? But, so they're at.
So that's the 749
Mhm.
down.
So what's our HRA limit for single versus family? I mean, today, is it the same as what's listed here?
Yes, it's the same as what we've had.
So that hasn't changed.
That hasn't changed.
Okay.
No. No,
I
it's just,
think the hard part is the 23%.
oh, I understand. I completely understand. But again, this is, it goes back to our claims. Our claim
Wise
status.
man told me one time that if you could get like 8 to 12%, feel happy about it.
Mhm.
I don't know what to buy.
Yeah.
Well, that was always our lot. You know,
What have you seen for this?
we have not had it yet, and should be like any time. But it's much smaller now. We're in a much smaller.
Right.
But before it was all, if we could get, you know, anything under 15 was good. Anything under 10, you were like all jacked up for it. And 10 and 15 was like, okay, that's fine.
Each year has gone up a little bit more. I think
Right.
last year was
But it is really
14% stuff.
dependent upon your claims.
It truly
It's not-
is.
In some respects, you don't have a whole lot of control over it, you know, it kind of is what it is.
And to your point, Beth, I mean, they drop the rates, they get you in the door, and then
Then
you
it
know, you're
goes
gonna have to
right.
go through the painful change again to try to
Right.
manage costs.
Mhm.
It's in my head, the options are obviously between Aetna and Medical Mutual, so really you're talking about
Right.
the difference of 35,000. As opposed to,
Right.
you know.
And I know, I
Right.
completely understand the,
Right.
you know, the sticker shock, I do. But I've reached out to several people within the police department, the road department, and here in our office, and you know, I mean, the board has to make the best decision, obviously, for the township, so I understand that, but Med Mutual is my recommendation.
Are we able to ever, in anticipation next year, say that we were like, I don't know what it's Roper things, but hypothetically say that we stay with Med Mutual, so that. And in 1 year that we decide we want to go with Aetna. Are we ever able to really tell, listen, piece providers are Dr. Smith and, you know, Dr. So-and-so, whoever, are we ever able, the biggest switchover is really two things. It's about your providers
Mhm.
and about generally your medication,
Right.
you know, how they view that medication.
Exactly.
Are we ever able to say, in anticipation, we're gonna be running into the problem because in-network.
Hey,
Whoops, sorry, Andy, I muted you. I thought you did that accidentally.
Hope you're feeling better.
Sorry, go ahead.
if my wife could have that same function, that would be probably, she would be very happy. But hey, the one thing that we all are going to have to recognize is with the increased, I'm okay going with Med Mutual. I know it's more expensive, but I think we can offset it with some budget, and I think departments are going to have to understand that. You know, that's how we're going to have to offset this cost. So, just, you know, again, you know, where there's a yin, there's a yang. So we'll just have to see where we can free up some money to go with this. But I think it's, you know, I know it's significant or it's more, but I think we can find a way to offset it. And I like Beth's thing that it's for a year.
Over last year wasn't that bad, was it?
It was just shy of 14% increase.
Yeah, that was right in the wheelhouse of what you're looking for.
Right.
So I mean, the challenge, as Beth was pointing out, that with mouth medications, you can look to see if they're covered, but
Right.
that doesn't change the fact that you can't tell if they're gonna make you start all over again
Right.
with medications that you don't know.
And that was
if
one of my
they-
first
Right.
questions.
You already know they don't work.
They
I
don't
mean, that's
Right.
the,
It's painful.
Go through that gauntlet of.
it's,
Yeah.
yeah.
Right.
It was when we went through this process a few years ago. I mean, I had people in and out of here left and right. And, you know, you have acid. My husband was one acid, right? He was just miserable until he got through that whole process again and got what he needed to have. So, but that's one of the things I had we kind of did some cursory questions, don't tell me what you have coming up, but do you have a major surgery coming up? Are there medicines you might be concerned with? If you decide to go to Aetna, it's just going to be hit and miss. Michelle over at Burnham and Flowers will work with everyone one-on-one to try and get questions answered. And I know I keep talking from my own experience. And I don't have these issues this year, so it's not affecting me. But when we made that last switch, my son had a couple different things going, and one was a surgery, and everything was set and ready to go. And we got into January, and we get bills. It's like, well, the doctor was covered, but not the facility, or this was covered, but not these labs. And again, I wasn't the only one. So it's just kind of a difficult
it's very
situation.
individualistic. I mean, I know that we have, for instance, a younger police force today than we had in years past, but that still that's not the only factor that equates into the ultimate thing, which is the claims, which is ultimately what pushes us in a lot of different ways.
Exactly.
Not the fact that I'm sure medication is cheaper today than it was a year ago. So
I give it back to the fact that really you're talking about a net difference of $35,000 really between the two. And for 35,000, you're keeping it constant and consistent, and we should be able to find $35,000. I mean, we should be able to find the rest as well, but that's really the difference that we're talking about, looking at Aetna and the $300 to $500 copays.
Right.
If I'm reading that right.
Right. And I'm to an emergency room visit, you have a $500
copay and a higher out-of-pocket maximum, and
Well, let's just go with the roll. I'll make that motion.
Thank you.
You giving up the helicopter?
For this year.
Okay.
how about a little matchbox? Matchbox.
Second vote?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you very much. See, the only other thing is the deer feeding resolution. Chet, did you want to talk about that?
Well, this was on my list. I'm sorry, but
That's because
from
of
our conversations with the DNR representative from the Department of our Division of Wildlife, or what we used to call the Department of Wildlife. So more important than anybody else. That just
I enjoy the anecdotes while you try to open it.
yes, that's really what it is I'm trying to open this stupid thing.
Here,
Thank you. Is it really big
it's
too?
really big.
Oh, geez,
Here you
God.
So everyone's assignments are to practice
So
the next 2 weeks.
I move to adopt the resolution prohibiting the feeding of deer.
Does that include salt licks?
For the state park.
Salt
Do
licks.
you have salt licks in your backyard?
No, but I think some people do.
Some people throw corn and stuff.
Just to go into our horses.
But salt licks are feeding, but
No person
Huh?
shall
Definitely attracts
recklessly
them.
or recklessly feed.
they're always out like Lowe's and stuff.
No, it
Wait a minute.
includes salt licks. For the purposes of feeding or making food available for consumption shall include the act of placing or permitting to be placed on the ground or within 5 feet of the ground, any device for any fruits, grains, minerals, plants, salt licks, vegetables, seeds, nuts.
In their section B.
So that means my bird feeder needs to make sure it's above 5 feet off the ground.
I think it will be enforced with common sense. in
Yeah,
mind.
he's gonna be in my backyard with a tape measure.
They eat out of my bird feeder, and it's 5 feet 6 inches tall, and big bucks get their heads up there and they eat out of my bird feeder.
They ate the tree we just planted, I had to replace. It wasn't intentional on my part. It does list all of these things though. Typically your
Is this
salt
a-
licks. In
is
section
this a
B,
breaking point here?
No, I was just curious. I didn't see salt licks on.
Yeah.
section B,
They're annoying. I mean, I don't,
two.
they eat pastas and they
Yeah.
eat other things. I don't like that.
Well, that's probably why you're gonna just get coal in your stocking. Santa's not. Good.
Well, I think the reindeer's gonna leave something else on the roof.
Well, I'm okay with this.
So you're seconding that?
Yes,
Okay, vote?
yes.
Yes.
This, because it's limited to home rule by roll call
Oh, I'm so
Please,
sorry.
sorry.
No.
Mr. Cheney,
Yeah,
Mr. Rover.
Yes.
Joanne? Is he allowed to- he's not allowed to vote.
you don't let it go.
Yeah, okay.
I'm sure that, you know, Andrew probably had from Berkeley or.
It's gonna be my
Like
thing.
DNR.
To his tree and make sure that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
right now I think he's just worried about feeling better. Okay, anything else, Beth?
No, thank you.
No. Fiscal officer.
Just two things. One, just an FYI, and I'm sure Beth, you saw it too, that we'll be getting November 22nd, our real estate assessment refund for the second half of 2022.
Yep.
And that is $5,747. So there you go. That goes toward our offset.
Now we're down to 30.
That's right.
Yeah.
Other than that, I request
Keep
a
this
motion
pace up.
for approval of
Couple
payroll and
months.
disbursements.
Make that motion.
Second, vote.
Yes.
Anything else? So in here is the service, did we just approve this last, the service contract with the city of Columbus for snow removal? Did we do?
Yes, we are. Yeah.
Okay. You know, anything for the go to the order? Now, look for a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Second,
Yeah,
vote.
yes.
Yeah.